Hi, it's Thursday, September 29th, 2022. I'm Jason Shapiro of CreditMarketReport.com. So I just wanted to make a video today because I've had this theory for about the last 9-10 months about the complete end of the financial markets in society. There were a few things that I was looking for that to sort of make it more of a possibility, and some of those things seem to be happening. So I don't mean this to be a prediction because A, it's too dire of a prediction, and B, these type of predictions are very, very small possibilities, but I think that it's something that at the very least we need to be watching out for. So I kind of call this the 3 Ps of societal breakdown. And the first one, which is pretty much always with me, starts with positioning. Okay, and this chart right here shows the amount of inflows into US equities. And this is 2021, okay, where we had more inflows in 1 year than we had in 20 years combined, right? This was a massive amount of inflow of money into the stock market in 21. And in my view, and the way I look at things, this money is never going to earn positive returns. This was money that poured into the stock market very ignorantly at very high levels, very high valuations, and this is the kind of money that does not make positive returns over time, which means that this is going to make negative returns over time. Okay, so which of course means the stock market is going down. So let's start with that and just give me that assumption for now. Okay, this money is going to earn negative returns, therefore the stock market's going down. So now we have a stock market that over time is going down. So that's the first P. And the second P is what I call Ponzi scheme. And I'm a believer that what the central banks around the world have done since 2008 was a Ponzi scheme. They printed unbelievable amounts of money and then gave it to themselves and bought US treasuries or bought treasury bonds, and that's a Ponzi scheme. Okay, it's just like if you had a money printing machine in your basement, what would you do? You would run it as much as you possibly could, right? You'd print money and you'd loan it to yourself. You'd give it to yourself, but in our case they loaned it themselves, so you'd loan it to yourself, and you would do that forever, okay, until it no longer worked. So that's the Ponzi scheme side of things. Now, we had the Bank of England come out yesterday and say they needed to buy gilts. And they said they needed to do this because they need to save their pension system. Well, is their pension system that close to being completely wiped out? Because if it is, that's pretty scary. And our pension system as well in the US, to me, is a Ponzi scheme, right? You've got massively underfunded pensions. You've got a Social Security system that really doesn't even exist because all that money's been stolen and isn't there. And that means there's a whole bunch of people that think they have pensions coming and Social Security coming for their retirement. That's what they've been promised, and it ain't coming. And that, leads to societal breakdown, right? People don't want to hear it. That money was put away and they ain't getting it. They're gonna freak. Okay. So there's your first 2 Ps, right? Positioning, Ponzi scheme, and your third P. And sorry, this is just the chart of the money supply, right? Growth, right? Year-on-year change, money supply growth, and this is M2, right? Ponzi scheme. And I don't know when this is going to end, right? That particular central bank printing Ponzi scheme, you could have been arguing that that was a Ponzi scheme from 2009. And if you did, then you got absolutely run over. I don't know if it's going to end this week. I don't know if it's going to end this year. I don't even know if it's going to end this decade. But Ponzi schemes do end. Okay, I don't care there's a central bank, and I don't care if they can print unlimited amounts of money. There is no unlimited. So when can we look for this thing to end, right? Well, the markets, I believe, will give you a sign. And one of the signs is that when they try and reprint money or do QE or whatever, the markets will reject it. So what you'll see is they'll print money and stocks will still go down, bonds will still go down, the currency will still go down, right? And we had the Bank of England do that last night, and markets rallied. But you know what? One day later, they failed. One day. I mean, I would have thought it would have taken a month or something, and I would have said, like, oh, well, if it goes through those lows, then maybe we're in trouble. This took one day, right? And what we had today, amazingly enough, you had stocks down, you had treasury bonds down, and you had the dollar down. And I can't even think of the last time all three of those things went down on the same day, but they did today. Does this mean that the end is here? I'm not saying it does. I'm saying when the end is here, that will happen. But just because that happens doesn't mean the end is here, right? Just like an oversold market. When markets hit a bottom, they usually come from oversold. But just because the market's oversold doesn't mean that it's the bottom. Same thing here, but I thought it was worth pointing out because we did see that today. Stocks down, bonds down, dollar down. The day after we saw money printing by the Bank of England. Scary to me. And the last P is politics. We all know the political situation that we're in right now, and I don't think it's just in the US, I think it's all over, where you have such a separation and such a disagreement between left and right that I can't see them coming together, right? This is not about coming together anymore. This is all about blaming, right? It's almost like people don't care if things go to shit now, as long as they can point the finger at the other side. And of course, everybody sees it the way they want to see it, so they'll point the finger at the other side no matter what. There is no true blame. There's only the blame that I see that the other side did, right? And that is not people coming together, and they are in no way coming together. And with these type of problems, we have a monetary system, and I don't think politics could fix it anyway, because the Ponzi scheme that they have created is so huge and so unstoppable. But certainly, there's no political solve for this either. Okay, so that whole thing really, if this all comes to pass, you know, it's Les Miserables is what it is, right? Complete revolution, complete societal breakdown, and that's not good for obviously stocks or anything, or bonds or currencies or anything, right? So again, is this going to happen? I think it's possible. I think it will happen at some point. It's going to happen now, maybe. But it's something to keep your eye on, right? This whole idea that the S&P, you know, could go down to 3,600, could go down to, you know, whatever, 3,200, could go down to 3,000 or something like that, is a huge underestimation of where it could go down in this type of situation. You're talking about an S&P that's going to 1,000 or below in this kind of situation. And is it, again, is that a one-day trade? No, I personally believe it's like a 5 to 10 year trade, but sometimes things can go quick. Ponzi schemes, when they unwind, don't take time to unwind. They unwind and they're gone, right? And we're kind of seeing some signs of that here. You know, all I really hear about, as I spoke about last week, is where's the bottom? Where's the bottom in stocks? Where's the bottom in bonds? So it seems like we could be on the way here. And again, something to keep in mind, something to think about. And I wanted to point it out again, just because today the market action was, to me, quite scary one day after you saw a QE situation in the Bank of England. So that's really all I wanted to point out. Happy to hear any comments or questions as usual, and I'd like to say have a nice day. Again, this is no guarantee. Don't freak out. Just keep an eye, all right? Thank you.